So guys, it's here, finally. Fernbus Coach Simulator. I have to say, I was expecting a little bit more from the menu. This is about as basic a menu as I have ever seen. The bus looks okay. I mean, it isn't... bit of tearing there, can you see that? Not sure if that's going to show on the video. There's quite a bit of tearing going on there. Now, when you load the game up for the first time, you won't see this. Well, you will, but not like this, because the default... Oh, I've had so many problems installing this game, I cannot begin to tell you. But I will begin to tell you, obviously. It defaulted to 1280 by 600 as my resolution. And if I show you here, this thing here is a slider. Now, if I'm in the background, I move the bus. And if I'm up here on the menu, I should be moving menu stuff. Let's see if that works. Oh yes, today we have a good bit of moving. That's what we started with. 1024, 768, something like that. Not what I said at all. But that's working an awful... Ah, right, there you go. See, if you miss it at all, you end up in controlling the bus view again. And I had a lot of trouble. In 1920 1080, it's probably a little bit easier to get what you're trying to click on. But when it was in 1024 768, trying to click on that thing there was an absolute nightmare. It really was bad. So, the options, well, they're minimal, I have to say. Everything's defaulted to Epic, which probably suggests that my PC is capable of running this game, which is a good start. Motion blur is on 0. I hate motion blur, so that's not an issue. Apologies, by the way, if you can hear my fans. It is absolutely baking in here. I had a shower just before I started recording this, and I am already in a puddle, and I'm not even joking. So apologies if you can hear my fan. Now, if you click on auto detect, I had... should I click it? I'll click it for the sake of you guys. That's what happened earlier. I thought it might revert back to this, because when I was on this earlier, I hit auto detect and nothing happened at all. So I assumed that clicking auto detect now would take it back to that view, because obviously that's what it auto detected. But I don't think this is working. I don't think auto detect works at all. That's the impression I have right now. So anyway, we'll accept that as is. Game. Vehicle tilt that's default there, which is quite excessive, I must say. But you do have controls on that. So we've got show tutorial, which is basic, let's say. An example would be if you've played OMSI 2, you'll know that the tutorial guide on that is a bit flaky. Well, this is almost like OMSI 2 64-bit. That's what this feels like. It's not as bad, but there's certainly some similarities. That's how I would explain the tutorial here. Navigation system, again, that's quirky, a little bit strange. Subtitles, yeah. Hotkey wheel, yeah. What's that then? What is that? Show bus stop areas, yes. Now, without that, you can find the bus stop, but I don't think it's that big a deal having it there. Maybe when you get used to it, you might want to turn that off. Show invisible walls. That'll be where roads are blocked off. That's fine. Refueling areas, that's fine. Service areas, not sure what service areas would be for, but anyway. In-game messages, yes. Time units, European or American. And traffic density is set to 1. I didn't have any issues with that. I've seen in some beta testing that there's some serious collision detection issues with traffic, but I haven't had a single problem with that. So that's all good. Audio, there's not really much here. Everything's 100%. There's no music, as you may have noticed. For a game costing £28, the menu leaves a lot to be desired. It really needs an update, massively so. Controls, now this is where things get weird. I don't know if it's just me or whether you're going to experience it as well, but I've got a G27. I'll do a video to show you all this. I've got a G27 with the shifter, and I've also got a Cytec Pro Farm button control unit. But in order to achieve some things in the game, I've had to use my Xbox 360 controller as well as everything else. And because everything starts off being bound to the controller and the keyboard, I also have to use the keyboard and the mouse. So I put a video up for this so that you can see what I'm talking about. I've effectively got about, let me see, 24, 25, 7, Jesus, we're looking at about 100 buttons sat in front of me right here just to play Coach Simulator. And that's not because it's so massively in depth, it's because setting up the controls on this are an absolute nightmare. Let me just go in here so you can see. Hopefully the error will still be there so you see what I'm talking about. Ahaha! It seems that one of your devices returns wrong values. Please try to restart the game or reboot your computer. What the heck does that even mean? Right? So I've got a G27 racing wheel USB. I've got the Cytec side panel, as I told you. It picks them both up and you can bind buttons to it and so on and so forth. That all works fine. But what the problem we've got here is that absolutely nothing is default. There are G27 racing wheel is detected, but it doesn't default anything. There's no accelerator, no brake, no steering, no buttons, nothing at all. Okay? Now this is the other weird thing. Let me just drop the accelerator off here. Delete that. Okay? Now, obviously this is outside of the bus, so probably the wrong choice of options to show you here, but I use my accelerator when I'm outside of the bus to walk forwards, and I use the brake to walk backwards. Makes sense, right? So I'd go down here and I'd add an axis because I'm using the accelerator, and you can see this is everything that it's currently registering. Okay, so if there we go. Do you see that? See the accelerator? That's good, right? One thing you'll notice is that this is maximum and this is minimum. So when my foot is on the accelerator, it's showing minimum, and when I take my foot off, it's showing maximum. Okay? So I'll select the accelerator, and you can see here that we're at maximum. Now what you have to do for every single axis control you add, every single one, is you have to go into the menu here, and depending on which device it is, see now that is not doing it. I need to bring this down here, the maximum input range. No, that's not doing it either. Oh my lord. I'm going to be lost here if neither of these work. Oh wow. So now I need to find a different solution. Is it that? There. No, that's not right. Let me check this again. Ah, there we go. That's what I needed to do. Is bring down the input range maximum down to 0. I think I need to swap it. There you go, like that. So now there's nothing. When I put my foot down, then it accelerates. There you go. See, I mean, it's quite straightforward, really, but I can't remember. In fact, I can. I was going to say, I can't remember the last time I had to go in and configure something so much just to get it to register and work properly. But I do. It was OMSI 2. So there you go. I hope you didn't hear that truck outside. That's what you have to do with every single thing, right? Now some of these things are named hotkey wheel right. What does that mean? What does that even mean? It doesn't really tell you. And this doesn't work either, the head-up display edit mode. When I press tab, it does absolutely nothing. So there's a lot of that. It's very OMSI 2-like. Now, in the bus controls itself, there's an awful lot going on. There really is. And it will take time. Let's do the wipers. Let's add a key for the wipers. What should we do for wipers? I'm going to say this key here. Okay, so that's for faster, and I'm going to add a key for slower. So that should work now. Although, like Bus Simulator 16, it appears that no rain ever hits the window, so you don't actually need windscreen wipers at all, which is a massive shame. There's quite a lot. There's so many things that irritate and disappoint me in this game so far. It's totally detracting from what's good, and there are some good bits, and I've had some good moments. But anyway, this is just the setup. Okay, it took me ages. I recorded about an hour earlier, but the audio on it was so bad because it's so hot in here. I got fans everywhere. You just couldn't hear what I was saying, and when you could, all you could hear was background noise as well. So I'm recording it a second time, but honestly, it took me an hour to get this set up to the point where I was actually happy. Right, let me just try this, because I set this up earlier and it did not work at all. So let's try a key. No. See, it's not working. I want this axis here to look left. There you go. So it's already set that up. That's fine. No, I don't want to do that. Just close. Thank you. So, yes. Camera, cockpit. Let's sort this out, because I set this up earlier, but I wasn't happy with the configuration. Add a key. It could be that one now. Add a key. It could be that one now. Add a key. It could be that one now. See, I mean, it's great that you've got the control to be able to do all of this, but it's terrible that you have to do it before it even works. You know, it should default. It should be smart enough to default to some stuff, so that at least the steering wheel turns the wheel. I mean, for goodness sakes, if I plug a steering wheel in, a G27, there's a very good chance that I want the steering wheel access to control the steering wheel. But none of this is set up, and it's so frustrating. Okay. So that's my brief look at the menu and settings. It's not... I don't think this game's finished, anywhere near finished. I don't think this game's ready for release in terms of menu and control features. It needs so much work. There's an awful lot of translated terms that just mean nothing to an Englishman like myself, and you really have to start thinking outside of the box to understand what it means. It's a bit frustrating, but anyway, we'll get on to some gameplay. In fact, I might split these two videos up, so this one is just for this, so if you're interested in just seeing this, you can, and I'll put the gameplay into another video. That makes sense to me. Okay then, so I'll say thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you'll come and look at my other video for a bit of game footage. Bye for now.